Hello all, and welcome to another professional development video. This is Emmanuel Rivera talking, and today I would like to tell you about news and views articles. News and views articles are short and concise articles with a length of about 800 to 900 words. These are used in the Nature Scientific Journal as a means to communicate novel findings to a wide audience, spanning a wide array of scientific disciplines. These are a summary and critique of a recent article or short series of articles, usually published in the same issue where the News and Views piece is being published. News and Views articles start with a title, which has to be short and creative as it has to serve as a hook to attract readers who might not be experts in the topic being addressed. The title is followed by the name of the authors, and as a general rule, these papers won't have more than two authors. Below the title and name of the authors, one or two summary sentences are included, and these will further describe the topic to be addressed in the text. Then we have the introduction. This will be a short paragraph putting in context the general topic of the paper or papers being critiqued. Just as the title, this has to be a catchy introduction as it shall also serve as a hook for those who are unfamiliar with the topic. This introduction will also present the main findings of the paper or papers that the News and Views is highlighting. And these main findings should be presented in a very explicit way, as a punchline. After the introduction, we have one or two background paragraphs, and you may be wondering, how is this different to the introduction? Well, now that we have captured the attention of the reader with the introduction, we can present specific background from previous publications building up to the current paper being critiqued. Then we get to what I like to think about as the core of the News and Views paper, the description of results. As a general note, it can be easier to devote one paragraph to a specific finding from the paper. However, an author can exercise writing freedom as long as a good narrative is achieved. So first, a specific question of interest is highlighted. Then, the method used to answer that question is described, followed by the results obtained after using the aforementioned method, and finishing with a short conclusion sentence explaining the implication of this finding with regard to the main question of interest of the paper being critiqued. After having explained the results of the paper or papers that the News and Views article talks about, a conclusion is presented. In this conclusion, the author will address the strengths and novelty of the findings as well as their relevance to the general field. This will be followed by a critical description of the weaknesses of the paper as well as discrepancies with previous findings and remaining gaps to be addressed. A News and Views article may include a visual model summarizing and wrapping up the findings of the paper or papers being critiqued, as well as previous findings from the field. The article finalizes with a reference section, which usually and ideally will include a much shorter amount of references than a primary article would, usually from 10 to 15 references. Those are presented in the same order as they appear in the main text and following the Nature Journal format for references. In summary, a News and Views article is a short critique of a novel paper or short series of papers, summarizing the main findings as well as critically highlighting the significance of those findings, mentioning the strengths and weaknesses of the article or articles being critiqued, and lastly, addressing the future directions that the field should take moving forward.